everyone, welcome and thank you for joining me today. I'm Lisa from Down to Earth Gardening, and today's video is actually part 2 of our lamb's ear video. I promised you that we were going to be creating something fun this winter with our dried lamb's ear, so that's what we're working on today. And it's January, but I'm lucky enough to be out here in 50-degree weather, which is fantastic. Normally I would be doing these winter crafts inside, so it's kind of fun that I'm able to be outside today and enjoying the outdoors. So what we're going to be doing with the lamb's ear is we're going to be making a simple wreath. I've done the drying. You're going to recognize, of course, our lamb's ear and some status from our drying flower video that we did late summer. And I'm also going to be using the grapevine wreath base, and I did a quick short on this DIY project, which I really love because I really just foraged around my yard and found some grapevine and made something from nothing. And then I've also foraged for some pine cones that I'm going to incorporate into this wreath. So I love making projects out of things from the garden, and in the winter time it's really uplifting to be surrounded by things from my garden that I've created. So I hope you enjoy this video. So I walked you through some of the materials, and of course I really do want to show you the lamb's ear that I've dried, because we talked a little bit about methods of drying lamb's ear, and I did it a couple ways because I wanted to show you the results. So one of the ways that I dried the lamb's ear was in bunches and hung it upside down, and it dries a little irregular looking, which is totally fine. And then I also used an old screen that I laid them out on, and you can see the difference how you dry it, which side. So when you have your vein down and your fuzzy side down, they do come out a lot flatter. So just keep that in mind for your project and just for planning. And then like this one here, I had fuzzy side or vein side up, and it's really curled. So I'm going to use both for this project because I feel like it gives it a little more interest, and I don't have to have the leaves absolutely perfect. So I kind of like that they're all a little bit different. And then for additional materials, I always have my pruners handy, my scissors, my wire snips, you can use 22 or 24 gauge wire. I use this for a lot of projects, even though I'm going to be cutting it into strips. I actually even keep a roll in my car. It's so handy. And then I've got some different ribbon and some twine that I might want to use. And I also have my glue gun set up. So for you at home, if you don't have a grapevine wreath, you can just use whatever you have. I think a straw wreath would also be fun. If you wanted to cover a wire cage wreath with some moss, that would also be pretty. I've also seen just some very simple brass rings that you could use, or even some people use embroidery hoops. So just be creative and use what you have on hand. And hopefully you live in the country like I do, where it's a lot of fun to go out and find some things that you can add in from nature. So in order to do this wreath, I am going to make a series of small bunches out of my florals. And then what I'm going to do before I wire it, and I'm going to use my strips of wire to wire the bunches on, I'm going to lay it out and see if I like it before I fasten it to the wreath and before I get my glue gun out. So you'll get to see the process and follow along at home. So I'm just going to cut a few strips and get these ready. They do also sell strips. I think they're 8 to 12 inches. You can get them in packages. But like I said, I've got so much wire around that I'm just going to use what I have. And just keep it simple. So I'm finishing staging my wreath here because, like I said, I want to lay it out before I get the glue gun out and then wire things right to the wreath, because I really want to see how it looks first. So I love the natural look of the grapevine wreath with the statice and the lamb's ear. So I really am going to I'm going to leave a section of the grapevine visible, and I think you'll be able to see it mixed in down here too. So I'm just laying my little bunches. I ended up making a total of 8 bunches, and the lamb's ear is a little tough to work with. So I have some strays here, some casualties, but that's what the glue gun is for, because anything that we want to attach later on, we're going to just use the glue gun for some of the leaves here. So I have them going in opposite directions here because I want to put the pine cones down here at the base. So this is going to be the bottom of the wreath, and this is going to be the top of the wreath. And so I think here, I could wire them, but it may just be easier to use the glue gun here. So I think I'm just going to kind of nest them all at the bottom and then work them up a little bit when I glue them to meet the bottoms and maybe cover the bottom bunches there. So probably just fan them out, something like that. And then I have these little tiny pine cones that I'm going to also scatter in here. So I'm going to attach everything to the wreath here, and then I'm going to show you the finished product because I do think I'm going to embellish it with a bow, and I'll show you where I'm going to hang it in my home. So we're wrapping up our lamb's ear wreath project today, and I'm really pleased with how it's come out. I did go through after I was done and take the glue gun and just add a few more of the lamb's ear leaves because I just love the silvery color. So this is our finished product. I am going to embellish it with a bow. I have this burlap ribbon. I was thinking silver or gray might be really pretty for my winter wreath. But I'm going to hang it inside, and then I'm going to show you a picture when I'm all done. But thank you so much for joining me today. I had a lot of fun. I love doing these projects with you. And if you like the video, please hit like and subscribe to our channel for some future gardening fun.